Anybody who's been to Baguio can tell you the city is thick with ghost stories. I grew up hearing them, friends, friends of friends, co-workers, each with their own version of something unexplainable that happened in the City of Pines. Most of those stories always traced back to the same tragedy, the massive earthquake in the early 1990s that flattened buildings and buried hundreds of people alive. Older residents used to say the smell of death lingered in the air for months after. I never thought I'd add my own story to that collection. This happened 3 years ago, during one of our annual Barcata trips. There were 6 of us from the office, all burned out, stressed, and desperate for a break. Whenever work got too toxic, we'd escape the city for a few days. This time, we chose Baguio. We left Manila late Thursday afternoon and drove to Dao, Pampanga, where the husband of one of my friends met us. He had been attending a convention in Clark and decided to join the trip. After a quick overnight stop, we left early the next morning. Our schedule was tight, we wanted to squeeze every possible moment out of the weekend. We arrived in Baguio around 11 a.m. The vacation house our friends had reserved sat on top of a hill overlooking the city. It was an old wooden house, spacious and well-maintained, but clearly aged. The kind of place that creaked when the wind passed through it. 2 bedrooms. A kitchen. A dining area. A living room. A barbecue space outside. The moment I stepped into the bathroom, my body reacted before my mind did. An icy chill ran straight down my spine. It was cold, unnaturally cold, even by Baguio standards. The air inside felt heavy, stale, like it hadn't moved in years. I remember standing there for a second longer than necessary, my skin prickling, my chest tight. I brushed it off. It was October. Baguio was cold. End of story. Or so I told myself. After dropping off our bags, we went out for lunch. Everyone was exhausted, so we headed back early to rest. Later that afternoon, we went horseback riding, explored tourist spots, shopped at the market, and bought ingredients for dinner. We ended the evening ukay-ukay shopping and cooking together like we always did. By nightfall, the house felt different. The wind outside howled louder than before. The wooden walls groaned and popped as if someone were walking around upstairs, even though everything was on one level. Every now and then, I felt like I was being watched, but whenever I looked up, nothing was there. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to sound paranoid. After dinner, all 6 of us went bar hopping. Laughing. Drinking. Trying to forget work, deadlines, and everything waiting for us back home. Around 2 a.m., one of my friends said she was tired and wanted to go back to the house. I offered to go with her. I didn't want to admit it out loud, but part of me was relieved to leave. The ride back up the hill was quiet. When we arrived, the house stood completely dark against the fog. No streetlights. No neighboring houses in sight. Just that old wooden structure looming over us. My friend went straight to bed. I stayed behind to lock the doors and windows. The silence inside was thick. I gathered my toiletries and was pulling pajamas out of my backpack when I heard it. A knock. Soft. Careful. I froze. Another knock followed, louder this time. More insistent. Just a minute, I called out, assuming our other friends had decided to come home too. I opened the door. No one was there. The fog outside rolled slowly across the ground. No footsteps. No laughter. No sound at all. I called out my friends' names, half expecting them to jump out from the bushes and laugh. Nothing answered me. A cold breeze brushed against my skin, raising goosebumps along my arms and neck. My heart started pounding as if it were trying to warn me. I slammed the door shut and ran back to the bedroom. My friend stirred. "Are they back?" she asked sleepily. I shook my head. "Oh, okay," she murmured, and fell right back asleep. I stood there, trying to calm myself. It was the wind. A branch. My imagination. That's what I kept telling myself as I walked into the bathroom. The light flickered when I switched it on. I bent over the sink, splashing water on my face. My hands were shaking. The sound of running water felt too loud in a small space. Then I felt it. Something cold brushed against the back of my neck. I sucked in a sharp breath, shut my eyes, and started humming, loudly, trying to drown out my fear. My heart was racing. My hands moved faster, desperate to finish and leave. I straightened up and opened my eyes. In the mirror, standing right beside me, was a girl. Her face was twisted in pain and terror, streaked with dried blood. Her eyes were sunken, wide, and pleading. Her hair hung in tangled clumps around her face, as if she had been pulled from rubble. She was inches away, staring directly at me. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. My body refused to obey me. My ears rang. My vision tunneled. All I could do was stare back at her reflection, my heart slamming so hard I thought it would burst. Then, she was gone. Just like that. 1 second she was there. The next, the mirror showed only me, pale and shaking. The faucet was still running, water spilling over the sink as if nothing had happened. I turned it off and ran. I dove into bed, pulling blankets and pillows over my head like a shield. I didn't close my eyes. I didn't think. I didn't breathe properly until I heard our friends come back hours later. Morning couldn't come fast enough. When I woke up, one of my friends told us we had to move to another house. Apparently, our reservation had only been for one night. I've never packed my bags so quickly in my life. To this day, I don't know who that girl was. But sometimes, when people talk about Baguio's ghosts, I think of the earthquake and how many were buried alive. And I wonder if she was just waiting for someone to see her. Just once.